Oh, slurpity-derp, my G's. I hope you're all doing wonderful. I had a lovely comment from my brother, DJ Physics. Recently subbed a little bit on Patreon as well. Thank you for that, bro. Really appreciate your support. He says, video idea, brother. Convolution Reverb. You mention it a lot. How would you use this against, say, Valhalla? This is a great idea for a video because, this is going to be my take on Convolution Reverb versus normal reverb. And it doesn't have to be a showdown. It doesn't have to be a Tekken 2 tag tournament battle. They're both good. We can use them both in many ways. I've got a little bass sound here, kind of little twist up on the Good Shepherd Vital preset I made, a little slower version. Here's a bit of Valhalla Room. Sounds lovely on that bass. I wouldn't directly put it on the bass channel in real life. I'm just sort of demonstrating so you can hear it a bit more drastically, the reverb, yeah. But I've just downloaded a free Convolution Reverb plugin, which I've just found, called Convolution XT. It looks cool. It's got some cool presets in here. The one I normally use, like 99% of the time, is the Kilohertz one because I just like the sounds in there. Don't worry, I will explain my thoughts in a moment. But yeah, the Kilohertz Convolver is excellent, especially because it's got these really tight ones, like the 50 millisecond ones. But if you don't want to pay for anything, get the Convology because it's free. And you can also get the Melder Convolution Easy for free. That one's also great. Although this special folder is really good. I think there's some other kind of small rooms and stuff as well that sound pretty nice. Sometimes their convolution presets sound a little bit metallic, is my only concern. But anyway, this new free one I've just downloaded sounds pretty cool. But anyway, so what's the difference? Well, just to break it down in case those of you don't know the difference, a normal reverb plugin like your Valhalla, or it could be like the Chroma Verb in Logic or something, or I've probably got loads of other reverbs, even like the normal Kilohertz reverb as well, for example. Any normal reverb plugin that's not convolution is basically using its own digital algorithm to recreate a reverb that it thinks is going to suit that particular sound specifically. So it's all just done, digitally. What you feed in, it's going to use its software and create an artificial reverb. And a convolution reverb is essentially where someone's gone out and recorded the actual ambience of a particular place or space and recorded it as a sample. And then you're actually running your sound through a sample. So rather than a digital artificial reverb being created through the software to give you your reverb, with convolution you're going directly through a real life sample that's been recorded. And this is one thing I learned a little bit at uni. So I did learn a little bit when I went to uni, and they basically said that when they record, when you have a convolution reverb, the presets they're called impulse responses, right? So it's a response to an impulse, and that is captured in audio. So the impulse could be you pop a balloon in a large church, and you stand there with a microphone, you pop a balloon, you record the echo of the room, and you just cut out the little pop of the balloon out of the file, and then you're left with just the sound of the echo of the room, And so that is a roundabout way of how you create an impulse response sample. And then those samples are just run through, you create a big folder and you have a plugin like this that sets them up. And then you can go and just try out your sound through all of the different recorded samples, basically. So I'm not sure if there's any really tight ones in here, because often what I like about convolution reverbs is when you can get like a really as I mentioned with the kilohertz one, like a really tight quick one like this, because then you can add a nice tight and controlled little stereo spread to the sound. But anyway, to wrap up, basically, why do I use convolution so much? It's because when I use convolution instead of normal reverb, it allows me to further resample and refine the sound quality. Because if I go always through a normal reverb, it's a bit limited to the results that it will give. You know, it tends to give out the same kind of reverb sound. But if I run my sounds, particularly the sounds that I'm more interested in creating a lot of detail in, like my snare layers or my mid basses or things like that, I'll usually choose to make layers through convolution reverb, because I have then the whole world is a sound palette of impulse response samples that I can run the sound through, so I can always generate new harmonics. And you know, the options are then sort of endless with the amount of harmonics that you can generate, and obviously because they're you know, because they're realistic samples from real spaces that have been recorded. The opportunity for new and different textures is so much greater. You know, you can then combine almost a more organic sound as well with your synthetic sounds in such a nice way, so that when you're resampling through convolution reverb, you're always giving life to, like, or always allowing the chance for like new textures to be created, you know. And so for me, when I want to have the most unique sound to me, you know, I want my track to sound like really different to anyone else's, by using a convolution reverb, it allows me to get that like step forward into like further refining my sound to make it more unique. So that's the primary reason why I use it. It's to allow myself to resample sounds with new and unused harmonics, so that I can try to separate myself from the herd. So that's the primary reason why I like to use convolution reverb. But obviously, you know, Valhalla is a great company. That their reverbs sound good, they sound clean, they do their job, and I use them and other normal reverbs on loads of sounds. You know, so the main thing really is, if it's a sound that I particularly want it to be very standout and unique, then I'll use convolution. If it's a sound that just needs a bit of reverb treatment for like the mix down's sake, then I'll just stick to like a normal reverb. So that's basically my two main thought patterns. All right, hope that helps you, my G. Thanks for the question as well. Anyone else have any great comments or production questions? Feel free to leave them down below in the comments section, and I will read them all, and you'll either get a video response sometime in the future, or I'll try and write a written response, or I'll make a whole tutorial about it if it's a really good one. And yeah, anyway, thank you guys all for your support. Make sure you like and subscribe and all that, and feel free to check out my website, links down below. You can actually donate on my website as well now, if in case you ever feel obliged to do that. But I also have a Patreon with Discord and loads of cool free presets, and also like a new video series called Discord Dynasties, where I'm breaking down my process of making a track from start to finish. One-on-one mentorship is always available. I've got mastering services, and there's preset packs on my website as well for Phase Plant and Vital. And yes, thank you very much for listening, my Gs. Have a great rest of your day. I'll catch up with you guys tomorrow. Much love.